Good afternoon and welcome to our midday briefing. We start with a few announcements for you. Let me start by announcing the agenda and the related press arrangements for tomorrow's college meeting, which will take place in Strasbourg. The Commissions are expected to adopt a strategy for generational renewal in agriculture, which will be the topic of the college readout and a press conference by Executive Vice President Fito and Commissioner Hansen in the European Parliament's press room in Strasbourg around 3:30 in the afternoon. The Commissioners are also expected to adopt the 2026 Commission work programme, well expected, and the 2025 report on simplification, implementation and enforcement of EU rules. And these two items will be presented by Commissioners Šefčovič and Dombrovskis in the European Parliament's press room around 5 p.m. As always, we will share with you the final details on the exact timing and location via our usual channels. Maintenant, et en français, permettez-moi de passer un rappel sur les réunions du Conseil d'aujourd'hui. D'abord, les ministres des Affaires étrangères se réunissent au Luxembourg. La haute représentante Kallas préside la réunion à laquelle la Commission est représentée par les commissaires Kos et Suica. Les ministres discuteront de l'agression russe contre l'Ukraine après un échange de vues informel avec le ministre ukrainien des Affaires étrangères, Andriy Sybiha, qui participera à la réunion en personne. Ils échangeront également sur les relations entre l'Union européenne et la région Indo-Pacifique et, bien sûr, aussi sur la situation au Moyen-Orient. Enfin, les ministres discuteront de l'actualité, notamment au Soudan, en Moldavie et en Géorgie. Veuillez également noter que ce Conseil Affaires étrangères a été précédé ce matin d'un petit déjeuner informel consacré aux méthodes de travail et sera suivi de la réunion ministérielle sur la sécurité et la connectivité transrégionale qui débutera à 15 heures. Je vous invite donc à réserver vos questions sur les affaires étrangères pour la conférence de presse qui aura lieu à 14h45 avec la haute représentante Kallas. Deuxièmement, j'attire votre attention sur la réunion du Conseil énergie qui se tient aussi aujourd'hui au Luxembourg et c'est le commissaire Jorgensen qui représente la Commission. Ce matin, les ministres ont convenu de leur position pour entamer des négociations avec le Parlement européen sur les règles visant à supprimer progressivement les importations de gaz et de pétrole russe d'ici fin 2027. L'agenda figure également le rôle de l'électrification dans la transition compétitive et propre de l'Union européenne en vue du futur plan d'action de l'Union européenne pour l'électrification en 2026. Cet après-midi, les ministres échangeront sur la sécurité énergétique et la résilience de l'Ukraine et de la Moldavie et la Commission fera le point, entre autres, sur la vision globale de l'Union européenne en matière de climat et d'énergie qu'on a présentée la semaine dernière. Une conférence de presse avec le commissaire Jorgensen aura lieu aussi aujourd'hui à l'issue de la réunion vers 17h15. Et nous vous invitons à réserver vos questions sur ces sujets pour cette conférence de presse dédiée. Voilà quelques longues annonces et maintenant on peut passer à vos questions. Yes, please.
Hello, Blaž Muhorčić with the Slovenian Press Agency. I have a question on the visit of ex-Vice President Jourova in Slovenia after you gave documents to Slovenian MEP Zver. He accused actually the Commission that it politically interfered in the work of Constitutional Court regarding the law on national radio television. So I would ask you to comment this. Thank you.
Yes, that's a question for Markus.
Thank you very much. The Commission executed the judgment of the General Court by granting further access to elements contained in a briefing. Regardless of the newly disclosed elements, former Vice President Jourova made it clear publicly months ago that she has not discussed the matter of RTV Slovenia with the then President of the Slovenian Constitutional Court. This was also, by the way, confirmed by the Constitutional Court. Vice President Jourova was in charge of the rule of law and all the key issues related to the rule of law, including the independence of the justice systems. It was part of her job to meet with the highest representatives of the judiciary and constitutional courts in member states. The meeting with the Slovenian President of the Constitutional Court covered issues related to the rule of law report, and it was not about any individual case.
Voilà. Thank you, Markus. Any other question to Markus? And by the way, today we have a few replacements, so let me go to my list just to make sure Markus is also taking questions on digital for Thomas. Please.
Good morning, Théophane Hartmann from Euractiv. I would have some questions about the AWS outage today. The Commission has some workloads running on AWS. The Commission also instructed its officials to use Signal, which experienced some outage today. So I'm wondering what was the impact on the Commission. And eventually I have a question concerning the vulnerability of these services on a handful of US providers, and what are you doing to reduce dependencies? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. We did notice this outage. Markus.
Yes, thanks very much. We are aware of the outage. As Paula says, it affected several online services. However, this would be a question for the companies. It's not for us to comment on.
Thank you. Other questions to Markus, please?
Hi, Camille Condessu from AFP. I have a question on migration. Belgium this weekend has sent a letter on behalf of 20 member states calling for a coordinated approach to the return of irregular and criminal Afghan nationals, I quote. Would the Commission be ready to spearhead such efforts, and by doing so, would it be ready to work directly with the Taliban? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Camille. I can confirm that Commissioner Brunner, with HRVP in copy, received a letter from 20 EU interior and migration ministers. The Commission is working to ensure EU-level coordination as regards return, and particularly the situation of Afghans. You might remember that in March this year we proposed a new regulation to strengthen the EU's return policy. We call on the co-legislators to swiftly adopt our proposal. And a particular focus must be on returning criminals and persons posing a security threat. At operational level, the return coordinator, with the support of member states in the high-level network, produced in December a compilation of good practices on the return of people posing such security risks. The situation as regards Afghan nationals illegally staying in the EU was also discussed within this network. The Commission stands ready to strengthen its coordination, to further ensure operational cooperation among member states, and to make sure that returns are more effective. And now when it comes to Afghanistan in particular, the Commission and the External Action Service have been in close contact with member states on this issue. And earlier this year we have initiated exploratory contacts at technical level with the de facto authorities in Afghanistan. We are ready to continue supporting member states in their efforts.
Thank you, Markus. Still to Markus. Still on the same topic? Let's stay migration, same topic. No? Yes? David? No? Migration, not migration. So we go for migration and then we change topic.
Thank you, Paola. David Carretta, Radio Radicale. Marcus, after the meetings that DG Home had last week with the two parts of the Libyan authorities, East and West, I'm wondering if you have a readout of what was discussed, and in particular, if you, other competent person, I don't know, if you have asked clarification on two shooting of NGO vessels that happened in the last weeks to the west side of Libyan authorities, and to the east side, the other incident last week where a boat of the Coast Guard of General Haftar shooted against a boat full of migrants, 140 people with 3 injuries. So I'm wondering if you have discussed this topic with them. Thank you.
David, we will get back to you because it would be for Guillaume. So we'll get back to your question, but first complete the tour of questions for Marcus. Jan.
Giacomo Biscelli, Bloomberg News. Yeah, sorry, I want to yank you back to the AWS question. I understand the answer is for the companies, but I wonder what is the Commission's backup if communication systems such as Signal fail. Do you have an alternative in case you can't use basic infrastructure such as WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram? What do you use?
Well, I can tell you from experience this morning that we were more using, for instance, emails. We go back to our traditional methods. But obviously, once we have clarification from the company on what led to this outage, we'll see if we need to take further measures also in terms of resilience of our own communication networks that we use, Jan. Other questions? Yes, please.
Peter Hack, Politico. At the end of last week, European car manufacturers have warned that they see a risk for chip shortages because of the export controls imposed on Nexperia. Or is it a... and of course, under the CHIPS Act, there is a monitoring tool for that. So does the Commission already see any indications of chip shortages in the future? And related to that, but that's maybe more a question for Olaf, the Dutch Economy Ministry has said yesterday...
So because otherwise we have too many questions which are for different colleagues. So we'll get back to you. Any other question to... Marcus? No, thank you. Then we bring in Guillaume to reply to the question on migration. Thank you for your understanding, because indeed today we have few colleagues who are not with us in the press room. So we have to provide for some replacements. So, but in this case it is for Guillaume indeed. Guillaume. David, just for the sake of the recording, if you can just very, very briefly repeat your question. This way we have it in one go.
Yes, thank you. David Carretta, Radio Radicale. Guillaume, do you have a readout of the meetings that took place last week with the Libyan authorities of both sides, and in particular if you have discussed the issue of shootings against NGOs, vessels and migrants vessels? Thank you.
Thank you, David, for the question. So, indeed, the technical meetings took place last week between the Commission officials, ES officials, and representatives from Tripoli and Benghazi. The meeting allowed for the participants for an exchange of the progress and challenges in migration governance, voluntary humanitarian returns, investigating and combating migrant smuggling, and the protection of refugees in cooperation with UN agencies. So this is part of a technical engagement with all relevant actors in Libya. And in this meeting, it was an opportunity to reiterate the importance to apply international law and standards, the respect for human rights that needs to be ensured at all times and under all circumstances. And more specifically on the different cases you mentioned, indeed, I can confirm those cases were discussed and brought up to the attention to the representatives from Tripoli and Benghazi, and we, as I said, we stressed the need to respect international law.
Thank you. Yes, David, a follow-up.
Thank you for the follow-up. Have you received any guarantee that such incidents or attacks will not take place in the future?
I would not speak about guarantees. What I can say is that we had indeed a good exchange, that we, from our side, our cooperation will continue to help Libya set up a comprehensive and right-based migration, governance and management system. The participants reaffirmed the commitment to work on the promotion of international standards, for instance, in search and rescue operations, including through more training and capacity building. So this is what I can say.
Okay. Other questions to Guillaume, who today is also taking questions on competition. No further questions to Guillaume. Good. Now we can come to the question on the chips. Yes.
Yeah, so my question was, does the Commission see any indications of chip shortages in the future? And separately, the Dutch Economy Ministry has said yesterday that it is in talks with both Washington and Beijing on the export controls imposed on Nexperia, and that they would keep the European Commission in the loop on that. What is the role of the Commission in these talks?
So who is in contact, sorry, just for my understanding, who is in contact with Washington and...
The Netherlands has said that they are talking with Beijing and Washington on this.
Okay. And today I take the questions for Olaf on trade. So first of all, as you know, the issue of chips is one of big importance for many aspects of our policies, notably the energy transition. So obviously we are very much working on this topic. And as you may have seen already, Commissioner Šefčovič is actually meeting or speaking to his counterpart in China about this very same topic tomorrow. And to pave the way for that discussion, today EVP Séjourné has also met some industry representatives precisely to take stock of the situation, to hear from the companies which may be concerned, notably by the export controls, to take stock of the situation, to hear from the companies whether there are shortages, what is the status of the situation. This will then feed also into the discussion tomorrow between the Commissioner for Trade and his counterpart in China. This is a topic that has been raised at top level already in July at the summit with the participation of President von der Leyen, who also brought up this topic and the importance of the cooperation from China in making sure that there are no such shortages and that it acts as a loyal and as a reliable partner. That's all we can say about this. So we'll probably hear more also tomorrow following the meeting with Commissioner Šefčovič. Other questions? Let me see. Also online. I had a question from Sam Clark, but I don't know what was the topic.
Hi, it was on digital. Mark.
It was for Mark. Sorry for that. I hadn't seen your hand. Go ahead. Let's see. Okay, even if it means bringing Marcus back.
So the question is about the EU-Ukraine cyber dialogue that happened last week. I just wondered if there was any more information about concrete updates, what came out of the meeting in terms of next steps, and specifically the status of Ukraine's accession to the cybersecurity reserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, indeed, I can give you a little bit of an update. The European Union and Ukraine held their fourth cyber dialogue in Kiev on 16 October. The dialogue focused on stepping up cooperation between the EU and Ukraine on cybersecurity. Key discussions focused on aligning Ukraine's cybersecurity policies more closely with the EU's, including the digital chapter of the Ukraine plan, protection of critical infrastructure, implementation of the EU's Network and Information Security Directive, the NIS2 directive, full rollout of the 5G cybersecurity toolbox, and the EU cyber defense policy. Now, regarding your question on the EU cybersecurity reserve, I can confirm that the topic was discussed. Ukraine's Digital Europe Programme Association Agreement is being finalized to allow for Ukraine's accession to the EU cybersecurity reserve, and in particular the ratification process by Ukraine.
Okay, thank you. Still for Marcus again? No. Then I see from Virginie, I think it concerns still the chips. Virginie?
Oui, bonjour, vous m'entendez?
Oui.
Oui, il y a une réunion demain entre plusieurs commissaires à Strasbourg justement sur ce sujet de pénurie, que ce soit les chips ou de terres rares pour d'autres secteurs industriels, automobiles, défense, etc., suite à la réunion d'aujourd'hui. Est-ce que tu peux nous dire quels sont les commissaires qui assisteront à cette réunion et si Madame von der Leyen elle-même aussi assistera ou pas?
Alors Virginie, tu nous parles d'une réunion, est-ce qu'il s'agit d'une réunion d'un comité au Parlement? Juste pour me situer.
Non, il s'agit d'une réunion des commissaires.
La réunion des commissaires, donc du collège? Non,
il s'agit d'une réunion de plusieurs commissaires concernés par ce sujet qui doit avoir lieu à Strasbourg demain.
Alors,
je voudrais la liste des commissaires qui participent.
Okay.
Et je voudrais aussi savoir si Mme von der Leyen y participe.
Je vérifie avec mes collègues si on a plus d'informations là-dessus ou est-ce que ça sera quelque chose qui éventuellement sera partie de la réunion du collège, même si je n'ai pas l'information. Virginie, on reviendra sur toi, sur cette réunion dont personnellement je n'ai pas connaissance, donc je vais vérifier. Okay. Other questions? So we can change topic, I think. Yes, please.
Irini Kostaki for Cyprus News Agency. Do you have any reaction on the election of the new leader of the Turkish Cypriot community, Tufan Erhuruman, following the announcement of the results in the occupied areas?
Thank you. We will come out with a statement on this topic. So usually this would also be something for the Foreign Affairs, but there's a statement that we will be putting out, so bear with us for a few moments, and we should come out with a written statement with regard to the elections that you mentioned. Yes.
Hello, Jarno Hartikainen, Helsingin Sanomat. I'd like to ask about the letter that President von der Leyen sent to European leaders. One detail about the letter, it's about the Decarbonisation Bank. Apologies if I have missed this previously, but it seems like a new measure. To me, I was not aware of such initiative. If you could just provide further details, what is it about? And also very curious to know where did you find 1 billion euros for this from the MFF that I think has been completely exhausted. Thank you.
Thank you, Jarno. I'll ask Anna Kaiser to join us. You're referring to a letter, indeed, that President von der Leyen sent this morning to the European Council in the context of this week's European Council, and your question concerns the future Decarbonisation Bank, which is referred to there.
Yes, absolutely. This is not an entirely new. This was already these first ideas were already floated earlier. This is very much a cross-pollinated file with several colleagues whom I'm replacing here today as well. So as regards to the 1 billion auction that you referred to,
I will have to check further details for you and get back. But very much in line with what we have been saying on the needs and on the priorities earlier.
Yes, Jarno, follow up.
Yes, it's very simple questions. What will the bank finance and who will be eligible for financing? Thank you.
I will be able to get back on the details once I consult with all colleagues who are following this closely as well.
Yeah, as you can understand, with regard to future initiatives that are mentioned in the letter, of course, there's only so much detail that we can already provide. This concerns work that is ongoing by the respective colleagues in the services, and of course some details may be already known and we can share, others will be still in the making, but to the extent that we have further comments and further elements to share with you, we'll get back to you, Jarno, and to other colleagues who may be interested. Other questions to Ana Kaiser? Jorge.
Hello. Yes, it's also on this letter that the President has sent to the 27 leaders. We know that last week Robert Fico confirmed his intention to veto the package on new sanctions. He demanded concessions on energy prices and the future of the automotive sector. As he said, does the Commission intend to establish a new dialogue with the Prime Minister, like she did last time with the previous package, that she personally sent him a letter, or should we count this letter as the offer to Robert Fico? Thank you.
Independently of any future letters, Jorge, as you know, the President is in regular contact with the leaders. And of course, also in the context of any package of sanctions, the contacts are very, very close, either by the President herself or by her representatives and also in the services. Now, with regard to a dedicated letter, I don't know if Ana Kaiser has any more information on this.
I have less information about the President's correspondence at her level. Of course, the letter today that was shared with Member States is outlining the direction of travel, and it proposes a bit of a context ahead of the European Council on Thursday. But as regards our collaboration and our contacts with Slovakia, as Paula said, it is very clear that since the beginning of the year, we've had a very intense dialogue with Slovakia to address the issues that they have raised that relate to diversification of their energy sources. And this is, of course, something that we are committed to continuing as is needed. But as regards particular letters, that I am not aware of.
Yes, Jorge.
Yes, one of the issues mentioned in this letter is the review of the combustion engine ban 2035. We know that the review was initially scheduled for 26, so next year. Now she says that the results will be published. No, that she's committed to accelerate the review and that it's now foreseen by the end of the year. Do we understand that the results of the review will be published, will be made official before the end of this year? Thank you.
What without further interpretation of what the President is saying in the letter, we have made clear following her previous dialogue, strategic dialogue with car industry, is that by the end of the year we will be able to already communicate the main direction of travel following the impact assessment and the consultation. The consultation finished 2 weeks ago, and we have started the impact assessment. So we will know in December already the main ideas, and we will be able to communicate them.
So the idea really, I mean, and this shows the sense of urgency that President von der Leyen attaches to this issue and to the situation of the automotive industry, and therefore her instruction to the colleagues concerned in the Commission to accelerate the work without putting into question the quality of the work, but indeed to accelerate it, just to also put it in the context. Why is it that we're front-loading this review to the end of the year?
I want to come back to Jarno because I received crucial information about the fund. It's a very legitimate and fair question. So it was announced already in the Clean Industrial Deal when we presented the communication in February, and all the money and the funding there. So basically, the funding will be based on the Innovation Fund and additional revenues, then resulting parts from the ETS as well as the revision of the Invest EU. And it will be placed under the umbrella of the Competitiveness Fund and participate within its governance. So basically, the principle of this decarbonisation bank will be similar to the European Hydrogen Bank, and who it will be funding. Of course, we are now in the first stage or in the planning phase of the bank, but the first auction will be on about decarbonisation of industrial processes, so obviously those who are active in that field, and specifically for the automotive sector and following the last strategic dialogue. For decarbonisation, electrification of industry, and using those tools to reach industry that is active in those areas. So I hope that gives a bit more clarity. But the announcement was made in February with the Clean Industrial Deal, so this was one of the announcements then, and the funding would be from Innovation Fund as well as from the revenues of the emission trading system.
Thank you for that clarification, Anna-Kaisa. Other questions to Anna-Kaisa? I have one question online from Ekrem Krasniki.
Thank you, Paula. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. It's for Anna-Kaisa on the question of the uranium imports from Russia. Can you help, please, with my memory? Has already the Commission proposed a timeline to the member states for and to end the uranium imports from Russia, or it will do it in the future, and you can eventually, on the second option, evaluate on it?
Okay. The second part was a bit less audible, but we have said that we do want the nuclear fuel part, meaning the uranium imports, nuclear fuels, to be phased out from the EU completely as well. And the focus has currently been on gas-related proposals and achieving a political agreement on those before the end of the year. And we, in this occasion, I want to also take the opportunity to welcome the general approach that was reached in the Council by an overwhelming majority to adopt the position on the repower proposal to phase out Russian gas. So on the nuclear side, we are engaged in close dialogue with our member states and key stakeholders, and we take the security of supply very seriously, and it's therefore that we have to ensure alternative supplies. And the nuclear supply chain has its specificities and complexities, which we will need to address before making a proposal. But having said this, we've made very clear that there will be a proposal. It will be coming. I do not have a specific timeline. As I said, the focus has been on gas-related proposals. We have reached a major milestone today in the Energy Ministers' Council, and we will now start then work on the nuclear side as well.
Thank you. Other questions to Anna-Kaisa? No? Then we change subject. Yes, in the back there.
Yes, hi, thank you. I have a question about Dombrovskis' meeting last week with Secretary Bessent in the US. It's just because I didn't see a lot of communication about it. I saw 2 lines on Twitter. Can you tell me more about what was discussed, especially what did the US ask to you? Did they ask for more simplification? And then regarding the support, apparently, of the US for the EU's work on the reparations loan, does that mean that the US is ready to contribute to the risk? To what else? What was discussed specifically on that? Thanks.
So regarding the meeting last week, well, first on the reparations loan, it is clear that we are reaching out to our partners, including the US and others within the G7 notably, to cater also for their support in contributing to the reparations loan with the immobilized Russian assets. So this is part of the discussions that we're having, notably with the US. With regard to your other question in terms of whether simplification has also been part of this meeting, I don't have further details to add. Other questions on different topics? No. Then this brings us to the end of today's midday. There will be 2 press conferences, as I mentioned at the beginning today. So wish you a good afternoon.